So you probably didn't even realize this, but you have a story to tell. You see so many other people telling their story, whether on social media, through blogs, through YouTube, blogging, whatever. They're putting a story out. They're making a real connection with their audience. You could be doing the same thing. Now, in terms of your story, this is from a brand perspective, as well as you just having a story to write. And primarily, what I want to talk today about is you like being an author, putting your story out there. Now, sometimes this is like writing the book more so like in self-help type of form, Matt, or is this like you telling your autobiography? You gotta realize more than anything else on this amazing, beautiful Friday is that your story matters so much that people will pay to hear it. People will pay to listen to it, but you gotta be willing to put it out there. And when we think about building your brand, this is the easiest way for people to gravitate towards your message and start to spend money for your brand. Putting yourself out there on social media. Putting yourself out there. And it's a little aggravating sometimes to put yourself out there because it's like wolves out there, right? Like you're dealing with the algorithms, you're thinking about competition, you're thinking about, am I good enough? Is this resonating with people? All of that stuff. But when you finally get out of your own way and just be like, you know what, I'm going to tell my story from my perspective of what I go through, the people that I've helped, I'm telling my story, that's it. When you do that, people gravitate towards your message. You see the thousands and thousands of people that you come across on Instagram that might not even be that brilliant or dope or academia, whatever. But these people have a large audience of people that are gravitating towards their message and exactly what it is that they do. So today's assignment is really to convey to you how important your story really is. And that by you not telling it, that you're literally leaving thousands and thousands of dollars on the table. In addition to that, you're not even really walking in purpose and having that fulfillment that you know that you should have. Like maybe you're working at a full-time job and doing the best that you can and you kind of just making ends meet and you kind of living paycheck to paycheck and you know you don't like that. You know it's not a good feeling, right? There has to be some type of way for you to shift. Now, there are so many different ways. Still getting over this little cough, y'all. So many different ways for you to be able to make money. But if you're making money in a way that's causing you stress, causing you anxiety, making you depressed, making you hate this occupation, that's not something that you should be doing forever. Now, I realize that this is where you are right now. So maybe you do what you got to do for a little bit longer, for maybe another year, maybe 2 years, maybe 6 months. But you should be working on an exit strategy. And if you know and you have this thing inside of you that says like, I got to get out of here. And I know how that feels because I was at a job where I was just like, man, I got to get up out of here. Then what you really need to do is create this exit strategy with some tenacity attached to it. So like sometimes people will say, I'm creating this exit strategy, I'm getting up out of this job, but they know that they don't really have it within them to like work hard and be disciplined enough to get up out of there. But I'm saying, if you know that it's your time to get up out of there because of the stress, because of the racism, I experienced some racism and like some just crazy stuff at my last job. It was crazy. So I had to get up out of there. My exit strategy included me building my brand, me building my business, me focusing much more attention than I was even at the job versus this business that I was trying to build. So practically speaking, how does this look for you? How does this look? You telling your story, you putting yourself out there. How does this look for you? Because realistically, you know what's a pain point inside of your life. You want to switch gears. You want to be doing your business full time. You know that you're creative. But for some reason, you keep thinking that your story doesn't matter. You keep thinking that it's too saturated in the market. Everybody doing this, so I ain't got no room. I can't make no money. That's a lie. That's a lie. But you got to be willing to put yourself out there, and your story does matter like crazy, crazy, crazy. Your story matters. But if you never tell it, nobody will ever get excited about who it is that you are or your products. And to that same point, let's think about how many of us are assuming that because we came up with a really great product that the whole world is going to stand at attention. Listen, this is why your story matters so much, is because then you're giving people a reason to pay attention to your product, to pay attention to the service that you have. But if you're just like, hey, look at this product, I started a boutique. Like, look at this service, I started a coaching program. Why should we care about your product? Look, today's conversation is going to be a little bit tight. It might hurt some of y'all feelings, but we got to talk real talk, because I'm really tired, y'all, of seeing how many talented young black entrepreneurs there are out there, white entrepreneurs, Asian, whatever. But you guys are buying into all of these programs, buying these courses, buying these ebooks. You're not even using the information. I think the problem is we're just not executing right now, y'all. We're in this season where everyone's teaching and everyone's learning, but few people are actually executing. Come on, y'all. It's execution time. It should be execution season within your business. You have a boatload of notebooks, of journals, of saved videos on YouTube, and you just keep learning and learning and learning. And the problem is, I think that in this season of your life, let's just be honest, that you're distracted by learning. Learning, as crazy it might sound, has become a distraction for you. So maybe we keep learning in the background, but start executing in the front. Like, what are some of the things that you know that you learned this year that you still haven't executed on? It could be something simple like, you know that you needed a landing page. You know that you need to learn more about sales funnels. Like, did you start the sales funnel? Did you even visit the different websites that you could be creating a landing page for? So you're thinking about getting a scheduling platform so that people can be sent the link and then they book the time and they could even pay for some sessions with you. You thought about doing that for months. Have you even researched which one you're going to work with? Have you even taken the time to maybe call some and get some quotes to look at pricing? Like, have you made a decision about your audience? You know what? I got to speak to my audience more. I got to build this tribe. I've been hearing about building a tribe and building an audience. Okay, I'm going to do that. What are you doing daily? What are you doing weekly, monthly to execute on that particular thing that you know is highly important, that you know that you have a desire to do? Why is it that we're not executing, y'all? I think that the majority of us, if we're honest, we're in our own way. It's not somebody else's this in our way. It's literally us in our own way. So then when it's time to tell our story, to really push our message out there, we're silent. We're in the background because we're waiting for something magical to happen. I was that same person that did the same thing, so I ain't mad at you. I was waiting for permission, y'all. I was waiting for somebody to be like, hey, Manny, it's okay to come to the front now. It's okay to get some sales. It's okay to get some clients now, Manny. You've earned this now, Manny. Come to the front now. You deserve this. I was waiting on that permission. And I had to finally realize this as a man, y'all. What up, B? That there was something inside of me that had been great. Like, it wasn't I was like trying to become great by doing all of these different things on the outside. Like, there was a part of me that had been great for years because God had already put that inside of me. But it was literally me finally paying attention to that greatness to let that thing come out. Come on, y'all. Come on. See, many times we're looking at somebody else's greatness and we like, man, I like the way he's great. I like the way she's great. I want to be great like that. Never even realizing that you were never made to be a speaker like that. Like maybe you were supposed to be that person that was an implementer, that somebody passed this big vision down to you and you executed on it. Maybe you're that person. Maybe you were never meant to be a speaker. But then you out here trying to speak and then you're dealing with imposter syndrome. You're dealing with insecurities and nervousness and fears and all this kind of stuff. All because you're literally trying to operate in a lane that you were never called to. Come on, y'all. Let's be real. There are so many talented people that join network marketing companies because they're looking for a place to belong, looking for a place of community. And I ain't even mad at that part, right? But they start trying to sell this product that they have no passion for whatsoever. And it's hard for them to sell it. So all the big gurus that are part of that networking marketing group, right? They'll tell them like, hey, just jump on the call with Bill. He's going to pump you up and show you how to do it. So then you get off the call, you took all these copious notes and you thought you was ready. So then when it was time to execute again, something inside of you said, nah, I really don't want to sell Tahitian Noni juice. Like, I don't know if y'all remember that. I used to sell Tahitian Noni juice. And although it was real good and I saw the benefits of it, I was not that person that wanted to keep pushing it. I didn't believe in it that much. But when it comes to marketing and branding, when it comes to allowing people and pushing them out of their comfort zone, helping them to build and develop their brand, the lights turn on inside of Manny. So I come alive in a way that I've never come alive. Because I know that I'm operating in my passion and my gift, so I can tell my story from my perspective doing branding and marketing this way. Will every other coach agree with Manny? Maybe not. But guess what? My way works, and it's not that your way doesn't work. It's just this way feels authentic to me and the people that want to come after me and learn from me. It feels great, and it works like crazy. And we don't have to be stressed out over here. Look, all of my community, y'all, we don't even subscribe to this concept of like grinding and hustling and working all night and working all day. We don't even subscribe to that. It's literally you being much more strategic and taking the time to figure out what systems you're going to use behind the scenes, what team members you're going to have behind you. If you ain't got the money right now to pay for a team, then you collab with a team. You're going to give some of your services away in exchange for somebody else's services. This is the same way I did this to grow my own brand. At the time, I didn't have a whole lot of money for a photographer. So I said, look, let's barter services. I'm dope at what I do. I'm going to help you grow your brand. Is that cool? He said, yup. I'm going to take some pictures for you then, man. Cool. Got a videographer that same way. Got somebody that's my CPA doing it the same way. And I've built these relationships from the beginning, and they've been sustained for years, y'all. For 3 to 4 years, they've been sustained. Simply because I continue to provide great value to these individuals, and they continue to provide great value to me. And it's an even exchange, and nobody got to pay nothing. Come on, y'all. I'm trying to get y'all the game. But what if you identified these different things that you thought were limitations? So I was telling the client earlier that many times we'll be like, hey, God, can you give me the money to pay the bill? Instead of, God, can you just pay the bill? Like, God, can you grow my business by first giving me $50,000 for me to get a building? And then when I get a building, can you give me some more money to hire the employees? Why don't you just say, hey, God, here's the big vision. I want to get this building. I'm obviously going to need some employees to work there. I'm obviously going to need some kitchen equipment in there, a new stove and all of this. Just provide all of that. When you start believing that God has the propensity to bless you any way that he wants to, then you take the limits off. See, you keep asking for money thinking that money is the issue. Money's not the issue. You just need an opportunity. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. I hope y'all getting this. If you're getting anything off of this live, because I always want to make sure that from a call and response perspective, that I'm giving you guys something. Like a few of y'all still hanging around, but I want to make sure that y'all are receiving something from this live. I hope some of it is helping it at all, if anything. Listen, let's get to the point where we're just asking for the thing that we want. So you're executing on the things you know that you need to do from a practical perspective day to day in order to get to that particular level. But you're not trying to ask just for the money, thinking that money is the obstacle. Money is just a middleman. Y'all don't have to say amen. Y'all don't have to say nothing. Y'all don't have to send no emojis. I'm getting something out of this myself. Money has always been the middleman. The reason that you sometimes will say, hey, God, I need $100 to pay this gas bill is because the gas bill wants the money, right? But what if you just say, hey, God, go ahead and pay the bill? However you want to. Couldn't somebody else realistically pay the bill? Couldn't there be some credit that appears on your account out of nowhere? Couldn't they somehow just say, you know what? For some strange reason, you've been paying over based off of the meter reading. So we're giving you a check for $200 on top of your bills being paid for the next 3. Couldn't all of these crazy things happen? See, One of the reasons why crazy stuff don't happen inside of your life is because you don't even expect it to. You've been living in this place that is only going off of your five senses. If you can't see it, you don't be believing it. If you can't hear it, you don't be believing it. If you can't smell it, taste it, touch it, you don't be believing it. But see, some of the stuff that God is trying to do inside of your life is just like what the word says. Eyes have not seen, Jesus, nor ears heard all the great things that God is trying to do inside of your life. But if you're limiting it to only your senses, then how can he ever give you something from the unknown? How can he ever perform a miracle inside of your life if you're the person that's always waiting for it to add up on the calculator? Come on, y'all. For somebody to actually call you up on the phone and say, hey, we got a great opportunity for you without you doing something with it. Come on, y'all. We got to get to this place where we're allowing God to perform miracles within our life simply by us expecting the unknown to happen. We're expecting things that we've never seen before to happen. We're expecting God to usher in a new wealth that we ain't never seen before. It's not always going to add up on your calculator. You going to sometimes look in your account and say, Dad, how did I get all this money? And then you got to go figuring it all out, right? Like, wait a minute, did this check clear? And did this person send us money? And did I pay this bill? Sometimes it just ain't going to make no sense, and you got to be okay with that. Happy Friday, y'all. Is this good, y'all? Y'all getting anything out of this? Happy Friday, y'all. I want us to get to a different place within our brains, and we're literally just allowing God to just move. And this is why your story matters so much, is because when you finally allow yourself to tell your story without being concerned about the likes and the views and how many people saw this and saw that, when you just kind of get into your own lane and your own vibe and you just like really rocking with yourself and you really putting your story out there, the people that's supposed to connect with it, they're going to connect with it automatically. And you're not even going to have to chase nobody. You're not going to have to persuade nobody. You're not going to have to do all these tips and tricks on your Instagram page, on your reels just to get attention. When you flow from this authentic place, you just going to blow up. Like, I mean, you think about people like Kanye. Everybody don't like Kanye West, nor did they like him back in the day. Jay-Z. Everybody don't like Jay-Z. Everybody don't like Nas. Everybody don't like when Whitney Houston was alive. Everybody didn't like Michael Jackson, even though they were crazy popular and they got so much attention and they made millions of dollars. Everybody didn't like them. But when they put their story out there, their ability, their gift, the right people that were attracted to that type of music, they gravitated like crazy, didn't they? So much so that Jay-Z is a billionaire. And it started with his music and him building his popularity up so much that now he goes into different circles and he's keep making more and more money. All because he continued to just tell his story. He put himself out there. When you going to put yourself out there? Like, I don't know how long you're going to wait. I don't know how long you're going to sit around, but you got to do something different. That's if you really want to walk into this different type of life that you know that you can have. Because like you can sit around and be comfortable with $100,000, be comfortable with $1 million. You like, okay, I made $1 million. I'm good now. No, you're not. Listen, there's so much more for you. And this is not from a place of being greedy with money, but from an opportunity standpoint. Us as human beings, if you ever study this, we were made to constantly progress. We were made to want more. We were made to be hunters and gatherers, to just keep seeking and keep exploring and keep going on adventures. Like, if nothing else, you need to be looking at money and wealth as another opportunity for you to take more adventures. Come on. For you to be able to explore this world that God made much more. For you to be able to go into your city and be able to bless different people financially. For you to be able to open up shelters. Your story matters so much. You just got to show up. You just got to show up. And let's talk about showing up for a minute. Because I think here on Instagram, as well as Facebook, TikTok, all of these different places, we're no longer driven by our creativity. It's more so by the numbers of analytics that are shown to us by these platforms. Hope y'all caught that. So it's no longer you like, man, I know I'm dope. I got this skill. Everybody love it. They keep telling me how great it is. those few people aren't enough for you no more. Now it needs to be thousands and even millions sometimes for you to be like, yeah, my gift is important. Like, I'll have clients put out a really dope reel that really helped a lot of people. It was great for their audience. And then they say, well, man, he only got 50 views on that. And I say, okay, does that mean that it wasn't a dope reel no more? It's like, well, the analytics said that this one didn't perform that well. Does it mean that it wasn't that good though? Or does it mean that it only kind of just set into this stratosphere of the algorithms, and within this system, they were able to say if this was a good reel simply because how other people performed with it. Simply because they pushed it out to certain people that they know will be interested in it, and that was only a small percentage of your audience anyway. But now when you think about the masses of people that could have been exposed to that reel, it actually helped them, it actually made them want to buy something, that's few and far between. They're not even showing it to everybody. So don't get discouraged. Don't start tripping about these views and stuff like that, y'all. Like, I've made more money with posts that maybe got 5 likes, 10 likes. And that used to bother me. At the beginning of this year, it was like, dang, I got all these followers and everybody ain't liking my stuff. Like, maybe I need to start switching my message and giving y'all what I think that y'all want versus what I know that y'all need. Hope y'all catching this. So, like, my page is not designed for fluff. Like, I'm that person that's kind of telling you what's going on behind the curtains. Like, I'm that person that's giving you real strategies, real tactics that's going to help you advance in your career, your business, or whatever, versus you just getting excited and motivated real quick, but you're not going to take no action. So it's just like, again, to my earlier point, information overload is real. So it's like you bought into courses, you got digital products, you got this, you got that, but you haven't executed on anything because nobody out there is challenging you to actually execute. They just want you to buy and learn more things. So it's like you got all the plays to learn, to run, but why haven't you ran the plays? Primarily, it's because you're in your own way. So when we talk about things like your self-esteem, your confidence, your mindset, you're thinking that that's not a big deal, but that's the biggest deal. That's literally the reason that you're not showing up. You'll show up way more when you believe that you was that person. Think about the last job that you were at. You, in the beginning, didn't really know anything about this job or the processes or the culture within that job. But after a few weeks, a couple of months, you were in there. You were just as good as everybody else. This is how it is in business. You just got into this game. You haven't learned everything. You don't know what the culture is. You haven't talked to other people. You don't know how to deal with the customers that well yet. And you're expecting all these amazing results simply because you see other people winning fast, but you have no idea how long it took them to get to where they're at right now. Like, yeah, you're just seeing them right now, but they've been working hard for a very long time. So this is why I want all of us, y'all, just to be honest with ourselves. If you know you just started, just keep telling your story. Get the right people excited about your message. Everybody is not going to get excited. So don't trip when you start to lose followers. When you watch doing a live video, people will leave and then they come back and they like, oh, I don't want to hear what he's saying about that right now. I just want to hear some fluff. I just want somebody to pump me up and tell me the next strategy to run so I can make $1 million tomorrow. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear about me having to do something in order for my brand to explode. When every other dope business out here, when you're talking about $1 billion businesses, $1 million businesses, all of them do market research. All of them are studying their audiences. Like, why do you think Instagram is so good at doing what they do? Let's talk about that real quick. They've managed to create this thing called an algorithm that works within their business where nobody personally can be blamed for this low amount of views, this low amount of impact and influence. So it's the algorithm. And just so that you know, it's not just one algorithm with Instagram. There's an algorithm for these live videos. There's one for the reels. There's one for your making a post. There's one when you do carousels. There's all these separate algorithms. Instagram as a business is brilliant at what they do. They research, they study, they do beta testing. Beta testing is simply when you put a product out there, put a service out there for a limited time with a smaller group of people to see how they bite on that, to see what their experience is. So then you take that feedback and then you introduce a brand new product or service to the marketplace based off of that research that you just conducted with your beta group, right? It's vitally important, you as a small business owner, to be doing more research than the big business is doing. Why are we not studying? Why are we trying to study how to get more views on Instagram, how to get better results with your reels instead of really studying your audience? Because if you did not know this, let me just break you free real quick. You don't need Instagram to become a millionaire. You don't need Instagram to become wealthy. You don't need Instagram to become abundant. It helps because a lot of people's attention are on these social media platforms. So you want to be able to have some type of presence for people to be able to build communities on this platform around you, talk about you, be interested in your products and services. But yet and still, this is not the only place that you can thrive. Once you know that, you'll start telling your story all of these different places. This is why I tell my clients, have local events. Like, use your local library to just bring the city in to hear about you. Like, it doesn't have to only be this social media thing. Like, there's several ways for you to be able to make it, but you still have to be able to get out of your comfort zone and put yourself out there. And for the number of times, y'all, that I've spoken, which is probably literally thousands of times at this point, I remember having events where nobody showed up at all. I remember it was just me, my wife, and my 2 boys at the time that was at the event. But as things continue to multiply, now I got colleges calling me saying, hey, Manny, can you come and build this program for our students? Simply because I went through the time period of putting in the work and I didn't see the amazing results. But see, here's the dope part about results that you probably never even heard nobody say. Sometimes the results is not I made more money, but I got stronger as a speaker. Sometimes the results is I became a better coach after working with all of these people for totally free. Sometimes the results is, you know what? I know how to be much more professional with higher ticket products now. I got this experience. I know how to use a CRM system. Going through this challenge, I know how to do email marketing more effectively now. We got to get out of our own way long enough, y'all, to understand that we've gotten results plenty of times, but it just haven't happened monetarily yet, and you pissed off. Like, we got to back up and like just chill for a minute. Like, I know that you want to get rich by tomorrow. I get it. You want all of that money because you got to go buy your new car. You got to go buy a new house, all of these things. And those things are great. But I just want to teach you how to respect the process. Enjoy this time of you building your business. Like, this should not be a stressful time. This should not be a stressful place. Like, what if you for the moms that are listening, what if you as a mom, you knew that you had this baby inside of you and you were so much in a rush for this baby to come out that you were trying to manipulate the process? That you were literally trying to go to the doctor, say, hey, force this thing out of me. Get this baby out of me because I need to pay some bills. I need to buy all these things. Get this baby out of me. And this is what some of you are doing when you're hiring coaches and expecting these immediate results like, hey, doctor, get this baby. I know it ain't time yet, but get this thing out of me right now because I am tired of having to go through the slow grind process. I understand, y'all, because I was there too. But this is not cliche me saying this. This is just real talk, so please hear my heart. It's going to take a little bit of time. It has to take a little bit of time because you are underdeveloped at this stage of the game. You need to grow more, and this is going to be a requirement for you to work with top-notch clients in the future. You have to go through this stage of learning and growing and getting better and practicing and continuing to speak over and over and over again so that you find your own voice. That you get to the point where you're not distracted by the number of people that are there. That it don't matter if it's one person, 2 people, or nobody. I've spoken on live videos for 15 to 20 minutes, y'all. where nobody was there because I know that I was going to use this as a recording and somebody was going to see it afterwards. So I know I had to continue to keep that same fire, and I wasn't going to be distracted by that low number at the top of the right-hand corner. I couldn't be distracted by it no more because I know I had an assignment. And guess what ended up happening? After several live videos that I spoke, nobody was watching at the time, saved it on my phone, on my page, people came after that and said, man, I want to work with you. I just saw your live video. And I'm like, man, what if I would have got in my own way and never even posted a live video because I was distracted by the number of people that were watching? Not no more. Like, I praise God for whoever is watching live right now. But just so you know, it ain't about only you. It's about everybody else that's going to watch this afterwards as well. So I'm going to give you this same fire because this fire is going to be needed for everybody else that's going to watch it afterwards too. What if we finally got out of our own way, y'all, and just start telling our story? Look, on this amazing Friday, here's something else I want to do for you. If you want to jump on live with me right now, or you want to ask a question in the chat, please feel free to do so. I want to be able to bring value because sometimes I feel like I be talking. I never give you guys an opportunity to ask a question or to jump on live with me. It's a lot of fun to do both. Wave at all of y'all that just jumped on. Hey, y'all, thanks for joining. I really appreciate y'all for joining. So does anybody have any questions? If y'all ain't got no questions, somebody just say no in the chat. If you ain't got no questions, that way I can go on. But I want to make sure that I'm giving a little bit of time to answer questions and to bring value to you guys for maybe something that was a little bit more important to you about telling your story. Oh, and while I make that point, there's an event that my wife and I are having together. It's a free webinar. It's for authors. So we have a division of Manny Hall & Associates called WMYL Publishing, where we have helped over 6 people now publish their book. So that thing is kind of slowly growing in the background. So if you're somebody that's thinking about writing a book, you've already been an author, and you want to kind of learn some strategies on how to push your brand out there for your book to generate more sales, you definitely want to be in the building. It's a free event. It's going to be a webinar through Zoom. So you guys can register for that. Literally just go to the link in my bio and you'll see the author experience event. You guys are a great group today. I see that y'all don't have no questions. Y'all had so least of questions that nobody even wanted to say, no, I ain't got no questions. Just like y'all, I must be doing some really great teaching because you just like, I'm going to just sit here and learn, man. I ain't got no questions. You saying everything that I needed to hear. So the next thing that I wanted to kind of dig in about your story is you finding your own unique way on social media to tell this story, to talk about the experiences of your product, your service. And when you're doing these reels, I don't want you guys to feel pressured to be this amazing editor. Like, do the best that you can. Right now in this beginning stage, all that's important is for you to continue to speak, continue to tell your story. You're going to look back a year from now, 6 months from now, and be like, man, that was kind of jacked up. That was kind of messed up. I wasn't as good as I am right now. That's okay. You're going to learn. You're going to get better as time goes on. But the important thing to note is while you're telling your story through these reels, through these posts, you want to make sure that it's coming off genuinely you. So sometimes we can kind of get caught up in telling a story that's similar to the way we saw somebody else tell a story, or kind of like framing our story in a way that we felt like theirs was better. So like, let me make sure I'm making sense with this, y'all. That you want to kind of like put a little bit of their story on top of yours. So like, yeah, you went through a horrific past, but you kind of want to add some of their juicy stuff so that yours seems just as good. You don't need to do that. Not in your storytelling. It's really you making a post that's meaningful to you, and you put it out there in such a way that you know that it's going to hit hard to the right people. Don't make a post that's geared towards every single person in your audience. Like, you think about your family members. If you think about your mom, your dad, cousins, your brother, Everybody could love fried chicken, but some people don't like mac and cheese. Somebody else don't like coleslaw. So it's just like there's going to be these variations within your audience of people that like certain things still about you, still food that you're feeding them. So don't get caught up in that. So as you're telling your story, tell these stories that are going to captivate the audience that you're serving. Talk about pain points from your past. Talk about stuff that you're currently dealing with, stuff that you're currently learning. Because I want to know about this stuff. It's not just about your product, and I don't care what the product is. You can't talk about that every single post. And I know that maybe you're thinking that, well, Manny, after a certain amount of time, people see my post, somebody gonna buy something. No, they're not. And I tell you that they're not because in several businesses that I've had, for myself as well as my clients, that strategy does not work. Maybe there was a time that it worked. Maybe we're thinking about when people knocked on people's doors, that if you hit 50 homes, one person was going to say yes. But that's not the same way it is with these algorithms of showing content. There are some people that are following you right now that have not seen your post in 6 months, 3 months, a year even, simply because the algorithms are saying you probably don't like this type of content, so we're not even going to show you that type of content. So you're hoping that everybody saw your amazing flyer that you created in Canva, this amazing video where you really went in explaining all this stuff, and you just wish everybody saw that, boy, because it was just so dope. But only 15 people saw it. And you like, man, I thought that this boy was going to rock. That boy should have went viral. Why didn't it? Because of the algorithms. And you can't get mad at that. You just got to keep pushing your story out there. During this time where these reels have more of a larger reach to people that are not even following you, you really want to lean into these reels and you speak your truth. The way that you know that you can help people, right? And the way that you know that your product can help people. The way that you're telling your story is